Stop, my child. I know you feel invisible right now. I know that lately it has seemed as though the world looks right through you, as though you have become a piece of furniture in your own life, present, but no longer noticed. And out of all the people I could have spoken to today, out of all the millions who are scrolling past, I stopped you. I reached through the noise, and I touched your shoulder, and I said, that one. That is the one I want to speak to today. You, not by accident, not because you happened to land here. I called you here. There is a reason I chose you for this message, and there is something I have been waiting to tell you. Something about who you really are now, in this season when you feel least seen. By the end of these few minutes, I will say it plainly, but you have to stay with me. Do not leave before I do. Breathe with me first. Let the tightness in your chest loosen just a little. You have been holding so much, performing fine for so long, that your body has forgotten how to rest. So breathe in slowly and let it out. There is no one here you have to convince of anything. With me, you can stop pretending. My child, I know what has been happening to you. I have watched it, and it has grieved me, because I see what the world does not. The phone does not ring the way it used to. The people who once needed you have grown and gone and built lives that do not seem to require you anymore. You raised them, you carried them, you gave the best years of your strength to them, and now the house is quiet, and you wonder if you have outlived your usefulness. At the family gathering, the conversation flows around you about things you do not quite follow, and you sit there with a smile, feeling like a guest at a party that used to be yours. You offer a thought, and it lands in silence, and the talk moves on as though you had not spoken, and you decide it is easier to just stay quiet. In the store, the young clerk speaks a little louder and a little slower, as though you have become fragile, as though you are already halfway gone. You catch your reflection in a window, and for a moment, you do not recognize the older face looking back, because inside, you do not feel old at all. Inside, you are still every age you have ever been. And somewhere along the way, a quiet, terrible thought took root, that the most important chapters of your life are behind you, that you are now in the part of the story where you simply wait, that nobody really needs you anymore. My child, I need you to hear me, because I am about to tell you the truth, and the truth is the opposite of the lie you have been believing. You are not invisible to me. You have never been invisible to me, not for one single day of your life. When the whole world's attention drifted away from you, mine never moved. I have been looking at you this entire time, with as much delight as the day you were born, with as much attention as if you were the only soul I ever made. I want to ask you something now, and I want you to answer it in the comments below, because being seen begins with being willing to be known. Where in your life have you been feeling invisible? And will you let me be the one who sees you tonight? You do not have to say much. Just type Amen if you needed to be reminded that you are not invisible, that you have not been forgotten, that the eyes of the one who made you have never left you. I will see every single one. I see them all. That is the whole point. I see. The world's eyes are drawn to the loud, the new, the young, the useful. My eyes are drawn to you. They always have been. I do not look away when a person grows older. I lean in closer. The world may think your best chapters are behind you. I am writing chapters in you that the world is too distracted to read. Let me tell you what I see when I look at you, because it is not what the mirror shows you, and it is not what the world has decided about you. I see a life full of weight and meaning. I see every year you have lived, not as a count of how close you are to the end, but as a treasury of everything you have learned, survived, forgiven, and loved. I see the strength it took to keep going through things that would have broken a lesser soul. I see the wisdom you have earned, the kind that cannot be bought or taught, only lived into over decades. I see the hands that worked, the back that bent, the heart that broke and mended, and broke and mended again, and kept on loving anyway. I see a face that the world calls aged and that I call beautiful, because every line in it is a record of a life truly lived. The world calls that being old. I call it being deep. You think you have nothing left to offer because you can no longer do the things you once did. But my child, you have been measuring your worth by the wrong scale your entire life, and the world taught you to do it. The world says you are worth what you produce, what you earn, how useful you are, how much you can still do. And so when the doing slows down, you feel your worth slipping away. But that was never true. That was never how I measured you. Your worth to me was never about what you could do. It was about who you are. And who you are has not diminished by 1 ounce. If anything, you are more yourself now than you have ever been, sanded down by the years to the truest version of you. A newborn baby cannot do anything, cannot work, cannot produce, cannot be useful in a single way the world counts. And yet a newborn is treasured beyond measure, loved simply for existing. My child, you are loved the same way, not for what you do, for the fact that you are mine. That love held you when you could do nothing at the beginning, and it will hold you just as completely if you can do nothing at the end. It never depended on your usefulness. It never will. Breathe again with me. In, I am seen by God. Out, I was never invisible. In, my worth does not depend on my usefulness. Out, I am loved simply because I am His. Let me speak to the specific ache of being needed less, because for many of you, this is the heart of it. You spent your whole life being needed, as a parent, a provider, a caregiver, the one everyone leaned on. Your identity grew up around being needed, and now that need has faded, and you do not know who you are without it. You feel not just invisible but purposeless, as though your reason for existing expired when the people stopped depending on you. My child, being needed and being loved are not the same thing. For much of your life, they came bundled together, and so you never had to tell them apart. But now, in this season, I am giving you a gift disguised as a loss. I am teaching you that you are loved even when you are not needed, that your value was never in your function, that you can be loved for nothing but yourself, and that this kind of love, the kind that needs nothing from you, is the deepest love there is. It is the love I have always had for you. You are only now learning to receive it. And to the one who almost looked away before now, I am glad you stayed, because here is the thing I held back, the deepest truth about who you are in this season. You have believed that you are in the fading part of your story, the long, dim afterword that comes once the real chapters are over. You have believed you are an old book pushed to the back of the shelf, still here, but no longer read. But that is not who you are. Hear me. You are not in the afterword. You are in the chapter where the deepest work of all is being done, the work that does not show on the outside, the slow and sacred shaping of a soul being made ready to see me face to face. The most important thing happening in your life right now is not happening where the world can see it. It is happening in the secret place, between you and me, where I am completing what I started in you, polishing the gold that all those years of pressure produced. The world looks at the elderly and sees someone whose story is winding down. I look at you and see someone whose story is approaching its most glorious chapter. The homecoming, the reunion, the unveiling, The moment when everything you suffered through with faith is revealed to have been worth it 1,000 times over. You are not closer to being forgotten. You are closer to being fully known. You are not fading. You are almost home. The light you feel dimming is not your light going out. It is the dawn of the other side, beginning to rise, so near now that its glow is already touching you. And what feels like dusk to the world is the first light of an unending morning to me. That is who you are, my child, not the invisible one the world overlooks, the treasured one I have never stopped watching, the deep soul I am tenderly finishing, the beloved child whose best chapter is not behind, but just ahead. But stay with me a moment longer, my child. I have kept one thing back, the tenderest thing, and it is not about how I see you. It is about a room you have never entered, where something has been happening your whole life without your knowing. I will tell you before you go. And here is something the world will never tell you. You are still needed, just not in the way the world counts. The world needs the young and strong to build and produce. But the world desperately, achingly needs the old and the deep to bless, to pray, to remember, to anchor. Your prayers move heaven, my child. The young ones in your family are being held up by intercession. They will never know about until they reach the other side and discover whose knees wore thin on their behalf. Your presence is a steadiness in a frantic world. Your stories carry a whole history that dies if you do not tell it. You are not finished being needed. The need has simply gone quieter and deeper, the way a river goes quieter as it gets closer to the sea. Some of the most important work being done on this earth is being done by people the world has stopped watching. Old saints on their knees, holding up families and nations with prayers no one hears but me. Do not believe for a moment that your quiet has made you useless. Your quiet has made you powerful in the ways that last. Let me speak to the loneliness that hides underneath the invisibility. Some of you have not been touched with affection in a very long time. No one holds your hand. No one hugs you tightly. The skin hungers for warmth the way the heart hungers for attention. And you have gone without both for so long that you have stopped admitting you need them. I know that hunger, my child, and though my arms are not flesh you can feel in the ordinary way. Hear me, you are held. At this very moment, in this very breath, you are wrapped in a presence that has never once let go of you. When you lie down tonight in a bed no one else shares, you will not be alone in it. I will be nearer to you than any person has ever been, closer than a hand could ever hold you. Let that be real to you. Let it warm the cold places. Hear what I declare over the one who feels unseen, and let each word find the place in you that has gone unnoticed too long. The kindness you showed that no one thanked you for, I saw it. The nights you sat up worrying and praying that no one knew about, I saw them. The tears you cried alone, with no shoulder to catch them, I caught every one. The sacrifices you made quietly, expecting nothing in return, I recorded them all. The love you poured out that seemed to vanish without a trace, none of it was lost. I gathered every drop. You thought you were living unwitnessed, but there has been a witness in the room your whole life, and I have missed nothing, not one good thing you ever did in secret. And what is done in secret, I will one day reward in the open. Let me speak to the one who fears becoming a burden. Underneath the invisibility, for many of you, is a quieter dread, that as you need more help, you will become a weight on the people you love, that they will care for you out of duty, and secretly wish you were less trouble. And so you shrink yourself. You refuse the help you need. You apologize for taking up space, because more than anything, you do not want to be a burden. My child, Hear me gently. You were never a burden when you carried others, and you are not a burden now that you are carried. Love is not a ledger. The years you spent giving were not an invoice the people you love are now grudgingly paying back. To be cared for is not shameful. It is the other half of a life of love, the receiving that completes all the giving. Let them love you. Letting yourself be cared for is a gift you give them too. The gift of becoming the kind of people who show up. Do not rob them of it by hiding your need. And know this, in my eyes, you are never, ever a burden. You are a delight. I have never once sighed at the weight of you. I carry you gladly, and I always will. Breathe again with me. In, I am not a burden. Out, I am a delight to God. In, I do not have to earn my place. Out, I am carried, and it is good. There is a current that runs beneath the surface of your life, my child, in the deep place where the world's attention never reaches. It is the stream of my grace, and it has been flowing toward you with the same fullness in this quiet season as it did in your loudest, busiest years. The world's eyes may have moved on. The current never did. It is still pouring over you, still carrying you, still as warm and constant as it was the day you came into being. Step into that stream now, my child. Let it remind you that you are not at the edges of life waiting to be forgotten. You are in the center of my attention, held in a current of love that does not slow down or look away as the years pass. Feel it moving over you, warm, steady, unhurried, entirely focused on you, as though you were the only one it had ever been sent to carry. So when the invisibility creeps back in, when the phone is quiet, and the room talks around you, and the clerk speaks too slowly, you will have a new answer. You will say, I am not invisible. I am seen by the only one whose seeing is forever. My worth was never my usefulness. I am loved for being his. And my story is not winding down. It is rising toward home. Think of the oldest tree in the forest, and the young saplings around it are bright and fast, reaching for the sun, and everyone admires how quickly they grow. But it is the old tree, the one that looks still and silent, that holds the whole hillside together. Its roots run so deep that the storms which topple the young ones cannot move it. Birds nest in its branches. Tired travelers rest in its shade. It is not doing anything that looks impressive. It is simply standing, season after season, being exactly where I planted it. And the whole forest is stronger because it stayed. That is you. You may feel like you are only standing still now, but your roots have gone down into me through every year of your life. And there are people resting in your shade who do not even know your name. So do not measure this season by how loud it is. Measure it by how deep it is. The loudest years of your life are behind you, perhaps, but the deepest years are right now. Rest now. You can stop performing fine. You can stop earning your place. You never had to earn it. The eyes of your Maker are on you tonight, full of love, and they are not going anywhere. Come back tomorrow, my child. There is a new message waiting for you here, every single day. Each morning I have something to say to the ones I love, and I will never run out of words for you, because you are never out of my sight. Subscribe and turn on the bell, so that on the day you feel most overlooked, you will be reminded again that you are seen. I will be here. I am always here. And now the thing I held back. All those years you sat in the quiet, believing that no one anywhere was speaking of you, that your name had gone out of the world's mouth and would not be said again. My child, your name has never stopped being spoken. It is spoken here. It is spoken constantly, in a country you have not yet seen, by ones who are waiting for you. and who know you already. Not the tired face in the window, but the whole of you. The you that I have been shaping in secret all these decades. They know the kindnesses no one thanked you for. They know the nights you prayed alone. I told them. You have believed yourself unmentioned, and all the while, you have been the subject of heaven. So when you step through at last, you will not arrive among strangers who must be introduced to you. You will walk into a room that has been saying your name for years, and it will turn, and it will know you, and someone will say, "There you are. We have been talking about you. One more breath with me before you go. In, I am seen. Out, I was never invisible. You are not overlooked. You are not finished. You are not forgotten. You are held in my gaze, and you always have been. You are loved. You are seen. You are mine.